The Credit Show podcast with Harry Jacobs starts now.
Ford is patenting technology that will lock drivers out of their cars if they miss payments. Now, I know that obviously from dealing with folks with bad credit for a long time, there are things that have been put into place in vehicles that will shut it off if you don't pay. I know some folks that do monthly lease type things, some companies that do that, and I remember talking to one or two people that actually got locked out of vehicles or the vehicles wouldn't start. This, from a major American car manufacturer, would be a big deal. So this patent was obtained recently, and it was published in February, and it's titled Systems and Methods to Repossess a Vehicle. You got to wonder if they are violating anyone's rights or any of that stuff. I mean, I guess it's a matter for a legal discussion. Mine's greater than mine. But the application describes this installation of a repossession system computer, which would be capable of disabling a bunch of different components in the vehicle, cause things to fail. As a little reminder to pick up the phone and call in. As an example, and this would be a one that would get your attention here. They could cause your air conditioning to fail. They could cause your radio to fail, that would be unpleasant, right? And we've all seen these, torture techniques, Guantanamo Bay, where they play crazy, unpleasant music. They could do the same kind of thing when you attempt to start your vehicle. They could even place the vehicle in a lockout condition, meaning you can't drive it, you can't get in it. They would just, lock it out. And only in the case of an emergency, like if you needed to go to the hospital, would the car allow you to drive there. It's a very big brother-ish kind of thing, but the reality is if you owe them money, if you're in an agreement with them, what are their rights? At that point to get their vehicle back or to stop you from using it until you make good on your agreement. I certainly can see both sides of it. Obviously, I'm a consumer guy. I've had conversations with folks a number of different times. I can probably tell you at least a dozen times where I've had a call from someone who had a car that's out for repossession, and they were deliberately hiding the vehicle so it wouldn't get taken. Let's say you play that game, but then the auto manufacturer turns around and plays their game on you, and they won't let you start the car or get in the car. We have these systems like you look at OnStar and other applications that are similar to that. I remember having a GM car some years ago, and I remember having a problem with it, and this was probably 10 years ago. I haven't had a GM in a long time. And they were actually able to get into the car and talk to me about what was going on with it through OnStar somehow. What Ford is thinking is that there's going to be no extra hardware needed, and they'll be able to do everything they need, from the computer or the vehicle. They can just configure it. I just think it's, it's interesting. You'll obviously get warnings before the system begins to cause things to fail or act erratically, and the repossession happens. We'll see what happens. It doesn't necessarily, by the way, mean that they're going to move forward with this. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. But, the patent means that they're interested in it, and they want to at least look at exploring what options are. I'm sure they've got to consider, legalities.
You've been listening to the Credit Show podcast with Harry Jacobs. If you need assistance with your credit, text CREDIT to 702-778-2000.